Welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I am Stevie B. Happy to have you all with us today. We are kicking off Easter Mayhem 2022. Let's go ahead and get everything set up here. I'm going to track my codex while I'm going into defense. Now, guys, you're going to hit B for the event list. Global instances, there's your annihilation at the top. Mayhem defenses at the bottom. So, whatever you do, do not abandon the defense mission. Reason being is if you abandon the defense mission, then you will not be able to get it back. You just won't. Period. End of story. It will not happen. They've already said don't do it, so just don't do it. Once you get it, it'll let you choose a stage. We're going to go with stage 1, and you can get right to work. So, unfortunately, I shot this video a while ago. I was hoping there was going to be a trick to Easter Mayhem. Unfortunately, it does not work. They did indeed revamp the entire system. Unfortunately, it is more reminiscent of what happened at Halloween than I was hoping. So here's the difference. So at Halloween, the defense category, the mobs attack you. You're what they want to kill. However, at Easter, they want this little data interceptor, this thing right here in the middle. That's what they're after. So the idea has never been for you to survive. In fact, you used to be able to die. You can still die, and it will keep going. The thing is, you want to keep that data interceptor protected. So that is the thing. You don't want it to get down to 0. That has always been the big thing when it came to Easter defense. Now, when it was a competition, so before this year, starting with last Easter and on back, there was a trick to this. You would go through about the first 45 minutes, and it would get so ridiculously difficult so quickly that it didn't matter how much DPS you were putting down. You could be putting down category max DPS, full enhancers, full amp, full pills, and about 45 to 50 minutes in, you just were not going to be able to do enough damage to kill the mobs fast enough to keep them from getting to that data interceptor and destroying it. So the way it used to work, the way I won first or second place several times, was once you got about 45-50 minutes in, you would quit trying to kill the mobs altogether. Now, notice as I shoot the creatures, they take their interest off the data interceptor and onto me. So what you wanted is you would actually want a Solometa Zoro, that 4.2 DPS noob weapon, because it's got 83 uses per minute. Or, yeah, is it minute? Yeah, 83 per minute, I believe. Not per second. That would be insane. So you wanted it because it had a lot of uses per minute. It has a low TT value, only 0.7 PED TT whenever it's full TT. You can throw an extender on it. It would take virtually no decay off the extender, but give you 20% more shooting time. And it used very little ammo, so you weren't really using a lot of PED to go out and just keep shooting it. So about 50 minutes in, you would pull out that Azoro, and what you would do is you would just run in a circle. You would strafe in a circle, because when you strafe sideways, you run faster than when you go straight forward and back. And about 50 minutes in, you would just pull out that Azor and go ping, 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 until they start chasing you. You wouldn't even try and kill them. You just move on to the next one. Ping, 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 and there'd be this giant mob train behind you of like 800 mobs. But they were staying away from that data interceptor. So as long as that was the case, then after a certain amount of time, the next wave of mobs would come in, and you just keep going ping, 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 and the whole time you're trying to stay ahead of them as long as you can, as far as you can, to be sure you're taking little to no damage. Now, you would also use metastims, which normally are not super expensive because there's not a lot of reasons to use them in game, but you would want to use a lot of metastims and really good armor, because you want that mob train to last as long as possible, to get your time as long as possible, because when it was a competition, whoever had the longest time in the arena won. Now, on top of that, there were a few other changes. This used to be an auto-loot arena. You didn't need auto-loot pills. That is no longer the case. You do need an auto-loot pill now, or you have to manually loot. And they used to only come from one direction. They would come in a wave from the north, then they would come in a wave from the east, and then from the west, and then from the south. And it was kind of random which direction they were going to come from, but they would all be bunched together. There'd be 4 in one spot, like 4 all right here, not 2 from the north, 1 from the east, 1 from the south. That's new since they did the revamp. So unfortunately, I shot a video. It was 34 minutes long. I got all the way down to phase 10 for stage 1 because there are 10 phases per stage, and I left one creature alive, and I ran from him for a total of 12 minutes. And I ran the counter down, and the data interceptor was still fine. It had like 79% life left in it. So theoretically, according to this being defense, and the goal being for the data interceptor to survive, even if you don't, theoretically, that should, running that timer out, should have progressed me to stage 2. Unfortunately, it did not. Unfortunately, the timer ran out and it said fail. I was afraid that was going to happen. I was afraid that was going to be the case. Here's why that is bad. So I did this at Easter, and with a tier 10 LR45, running pills, fully amped, whole 9 yards, full damage enhancers, I was only able to get through stage 5. I could get through stage 6, but at the end of stage 6, what would end up happening would be whenever the boss spawned, there was just too many, they were too strong, and I couldn't put out enough DPS. So I failed stage 6. So I tried what I just tried, and I tried running out the timer, and I was able to run out the timer, but it said you didn't kill the creatures, you failed. Well, this isn't Annihilation. We have Annihilation. That's the whole primary competition. This is supposed to be survival. And I survived, but it didn't matter because I didn't kill all the creatures. So what's bad about that is it's so ridiculously difficult that people just don't even try. Or they get through stage 5, stage 4, whatever they can muster to get through, and then they say, screw it, I'm done. I'm just not even going to try. I'm just going to go grind out Annihilation. And that's bad because if it was doable, if it was feasible, if it was just hard and you had to give it 5 or 6 attempts, people would go in there and they would give it 5 or 6 attempts. They would spend a lot of money on medicine pills to make that happen. And it would be good for the economy, it'd be good for the players, it'd be good for Mind Arc. It would be good all the way around. Instead, doing it this way, what's going to happen is I will eventually get to a stage, probably 5 or 6, and I'll complete it, and then I will not be able to complete the stage after that, and I'm just going to give up and go over to Annihilation and just start grinding out my Regolite mission. Because there's no point spending a ton of money on Metastim and trying over and over and over and just wasting my time when I can be grinding out that Regolite mission instead, right? It reminds me of a video game. Me and my buddy rented from Blockbuster back in the day. I think we were in like 7th grade, back when Blockbuster and renting video games was a thing. And we went, and I think it was PS1. It might have been like Nintendo 64 or something. But we rented this game. I don't remember what it was, but it was a really cool game. It was supposed to be like a first-person shooter, kind of like a James Bond game, right? And when you turned it on, the very first thing that happened in this game was you were in this room. It was a little bitty square room, like a little closet. And there was a door. Now, we looked. We spent 8 hours researching this, okay? There was nothing to do in this room. There was no secret trap door. There was no secret way out. It was just you start, there's the door, begin the game. Problem is, if you walked out the door, you got killed. Did not matter if you went straight, you got killed. If you went left, you got killed. If you went right, you got killed. If you tried to back into the room, you still got killed. So finally, after 8 hours of being like, you've got to be kidding, what we finally settled on was, if the game is this hard in the first 2 seconds, if it's this impossible, then we don't even want to waste our time trying to get through level 1, much less level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or so on. So we just gave up, watched a movie, took it back to Blockbuster the next day, told them how horrible the game was, and the guy at Blockbuster goes, yeah, a lot of people say that. We have to pretty much refund everybody's money who rents this. So it was absolutely horrendous. And when you make it that horrendous, when you make it that difficult, people just do not even bother to try. There's 0 point to it. There's really not. And unfortunately, that's exactly what they've done here, is they've made it where it gets so hard so fast that it's just not going to be worth most people even bothering with. I was really hoping the trick with the Azoro and running down the timer would work, because a lot of people would buy them. A lot of people would spend a lot of money on metastims and good limited FAPs, and it'd be great for the economy. People would give it 7, 8, 9 shots just to get to the next stage. If this was something where that worked, even if I had to spend a lot of money on metastims and limited FAPs and had to give it 15 shots, 20 shots, the rewards for completing the stage would be good enough. It would be worth the investment. As it stands, I'm just going to give this a once a go, and I'm going to get through as many stages as I can, and when I can't progress any further, off to Annihilation I am. I actually emailed them a support case about this exact problem right after Halloween Mayhem, because that was the first revamp of Mayhem, and they said, we want the players' input. And I said, look, if you do it this way, it doesn't even make it worth attempting. If you will do it the other way, the way it really should be done considering its defense, people will spend money left and right on FAPs, metastims. They'll give it multiple shots because they want that reward, and it just be good all the way around. Well, they blatantly ignored what I told them. Big shock there, right? Now, the sad part is, if you read the release from 6 days ago, it reads that the clock should work. It says as long as the data interceptor survives, then you should progress to the next stage. So, I mean, really, it should work. They should have put in that, oh, by the way, you also have to kill all the creatures before the clock runs out, or you have to kill all the creatures, period. That did not used to be a thing when it was a competition. You could just keep going phase after phase after phase, stage after stage after stage, and the creatures would just keep on spawning. Now, I get it. It's a revamp. It's not supposed to be exactly like it was, but the point is not to survive. The point is for the data interceptors to survive. The other thing is, whenever you're dealing with this, you can die in the middle of a stage. You can die on phase 5. And as long as that data interceptor does not get destroyed, then you're good. And this used to happen occasionally whenever you would be doing the competition. You would screw something up, and your fingers would get tired of strafing or whatever, and you would accidentally take too much damage, and you would have to just use a really amazing FAP to heal yourself up real quick and start ping, 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 ping again, and get them back on you. And there was a point, if you did it at the right point, if you didn't do it too late in the game, then you could actually just keep on going. If you were, an hour and 45 minutes in with 9 bajillion mobs that were spawned in the arena, it was going to be too late at that point. But right now, I could die right here, and it's not going to automatically fail me because the data interceptor isn't being destroyed, or would not get fully destroyed. The problem is, as you go, it does get harder. By the time you get to phase 9, it's going to be very, very, very difficult because of how fast they're going to be coming and how strong they are. When you get to phase 10, it's going to be very difficult. These are level 2, 3, and at phase 10, the boss is level 8. So if that's how it is on stage 1, what do you think it's going to be like on stage 20? So unfortunately, we're going to see the exact same thing that we saw at Halloween. Messi is going to complete defense, so will JBK, most likely Bonnie, Eve, maybe Ford, Zippo, Lincoln, Mercury. Is it Ford, Zippo, Lincoln, Mercury, or Zippo, Lincoln, Mercury? I think I always want to say Ford because it's like the car, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury. I think it's just Zippo, Lincoln, Mercury. I don't know. Anyway, so there's going to be like 4 or 5 players that manage to get through stage 20 and get the cool back spikes. There's going to be a few players that get through like stage 10, 11, 12, 13. But for most of us players, unfortunately, stage 5 is probably going to be about the max that we're really going to be able to hope for. Maybe 6. So that's a real shame. It really is. I really wish they hadn't done that because it would just be so much better for the players, for the game, for Mindark, the economy, people who sell pills. So much better all the way around had they just designed it that running out the timer worked. Because running out the timer is no small feat. Not only do you have to get them to chase you, not only do you have to be able to ping them that fast, you've got to have full run speed, which means a run speed ring plus run pills. You've got to have run speed totally maxed out. And then on top of that, you've got to be able to survive when they do hit you. And they're going to hit hard at those higher stages. At stage 20, they're going to be hitting hard. So, I mean, you're going to need an amazing FAP, limited or otherwise. You're going to need a lot of metastims. So it would not be cheap to do. It would not be easy by any means to do, even if running out the clock did work. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't. I tested it. It took me 34 minutes to test it. But I wanted to test it on stage 1 rather than try and test it like I did last time on stage 6. Just because obviously it's cheaper to test on stage 1. It's easier, it's faster, and at least you know what you're getting into up front, right? Now keep in mind that some of these mobs do have special buffs. Like if you notice, I've got hit a few times, it says slowed. So sometimes you do get hit, it does say slowed. Slowed, as far as I'm aware, means not just how fast you run, but also your reload speed. So, that's something to keep in mind. I'm sure there's pets out there like the Tesla pet that are going to be very, very helpful with this. especially for players who are going for all 20 stages. Unfortunately, like I said, for most of us mere mortals, it's just not going to happen because of the fact that running out the timer does not do crap for you. I wish it did. I was really hopeful for that. I think those back spikes are really, really cool. If anybody gets a pair of those back spikes and you feel like donating them, that's Stevie, Stevie, B as in boy. You can find me in-game all the time. I would gladly take them off your hands as a birthday gift. I do have an Entropia birthday coming up here in May. I believe it will be my 4th Entropia birthday. It's definitely not my 3rd. I think it's my 4th. I don't think it's quite my 5th. Surely not. Surely it hasn't been 5 years already. I'll have to go back and I'll have to look at the calendar. No, it'd be 4. 18 to 19 to 20 to 21 to 22. Yeah, it'd be 4. Because, yeah, that's right. Because, like, my first year, like, once I actually had my 6 months in at Zykion, once I'd done that, and I was actually, like, playing, that's whenever they came out with the 15th Entropia New Year. So it was, like, 9-10 months into my first birthday, to my first year playing, and that's whenever they came out with the FEN event. That's when I got the BP20 and all that. So we will have the 20-year anniversary next year. So yeah, this is going to be my 4th birthday in EU. I had a guy to Sweat Circle the other day. I was at Royal Club because I was uploading and editing and making screen grabs for like 10 different videos I put on YouTube for Next Island and some stuff leading up to Mayhem. And I had this guy at the Sweat Circle because I was there just kind of letting him auto-collect sweat while I wasn't even looking at the game. And I was doing that, and then I was doing like 5 other things. And this guy goes, yeah, I'm a level 86 evader. They never hit me. I said, well, that's not how evade works. They're going to hit you some amount of the time, no matter how high your evader is. So we figured out very quickly he had no idea how the game worked. And we figured out very quickly he was full of crap. I went to go grab a scanner. I come back, and it turns out he finally admitted, he's like, oh, yeah, 86 points of evade. I was like, yeah, that's not your professional level. That makes your professional level like 1. But he was sitting there claiming that level 25 Ambu wouldn't hit him for like 3 hours at a time. I was like, bro, I'm a level 48 evader. I've got almost 7,000 points of just evade. That doesn't count all the other skills that go into the evader profession. And I can solo sweat an Ambu, a level 25 at Royal, for probably a good 5 minutes before I die. So if I'm level 48 and they're able to kill me, I promise you they're able to kill you with your little 86 points of evade. I promise. Like, that is not even close. And see, this is what I mean. So I was using the BP20 FEN. I didn't have any enhancers or anything on it just now. And I'm on phase 8, and I had to pull out the BC25. It does not have an amp on it. It does have an extender, and I've got 3 damage enhancers on it. Damage 1, 2, and 3. So, because look at how quickly they're coming. They're just all over the place, right? And remember, these guys right here, some of these, if they hit you, they will give you that slowed, which slows your run speed, I know. I think it also slows your reload speed. No, I guess movement speed. Just movement speed. It seemed like I got hit like 3 times by it a while ago when I made the last video, and it seemed like it slowed my reload speed too, but that could have just been in my head. So now that we're more or less done with phase 8, there might be one more wave. No, here we go, phase 9. So you guys will start to see how fast they come. Now this is the beginning of phase 9, and I kind of figured that's what was going to happen. I was really hopeful they had changed it, just because of how much easier it would have made it to do or to attempt, just because of how many players would have been able to at least attempt it, even if they had to attempt it, like I said, like 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 times per stage. It would have still been feasible. It would have been possible. It wouldn't have been literally just impossible no matter what you did, right? So unfortunately they didn't. I was extremely disappointed, but at the same time, I don't have to spend all day sitting here trying to get through 20 stages. I can just go start my annihilation mission here pretty quick, and I can just get on with Mayhem. So unfortunately, you know, it's looking like Easter and Halloween for right now, so long as they keep the timer thing an issue, where you do have to kill them all to progress to the next stage. It seems like it's going to be something for the gods of the game. Maybe at some point they will, you know, change it, do away with the timer. And that's the big problem, is even if you're putting out enough DPS, even if you're able to survive to the end of the stage, and you can somehow stay alive and be killing at the same time. You do have enough DPS that you can do it. It's just going to take you an hour. You don't have an hour. You've only got 15 minutes. So if you can't kill them all in 15 minutes, you're screwed. So this is phase 10. This is the beginning. And notice it's a level 8 warlock that first comes out. So obviously if he's level 8 on stage 1, then he's going to get bigger as they go. And the problem that you're going to have is you're not going to be able to, especially at those later stages, you're not going to be able to just kill him first. You're going to have to do exactly what I'm doing here, and you're going to have to focus on the other little mobs, and then you're going to have to just do damage to him as you can, because you've got to protect that data interceptor. Now, I don't really have to, quote unquote, because the data interceptor has enough life left in it. I can just go ahead and take him out real quick, and it's not going to be a big problem. I'm actually going to be able to do enough damage that this isn't going to like destroy stage 1 for me all over again. But whenever you get into those higher stages, look at how fast they're coming. So obviously, you know, they're already digging into the interceptor. So at those higher stages, the problem is going to be that you're going to have to be able to survive him, because otherwise you're just going to get cremated. And if you're trying to take him down, the data interceptor is going to be destroyed while you wait. So I'm officially going to clear stage 1 right now, and I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I'll get this uploaded for you guys. Unfortunately, those old tricks do not work. You cannot use the Azoro to just ping, 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 ping. You can't run down the timer, because if you don't kill the mobs before that timer runs down, you're going to fail the stage anyway. I do hope Mind Arc changes at some point, but you know, for now, that's just how it is. So from everybody at earnped.com, I've been Stevie B. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Thank you all for checking out the video. So that clears stage 1. We can move on to stage 2 now. I did get 2 Mayhem tokens out of it. You can repeat the stages. You do not get the reward more than once. You only get the reward once. You will get a small amount of Mayhem tokens for repeating the stage, but not the same as the reward. Whatever you do, just do not abandon that mission. Once you get the mission, just leave it alone. Just leave it, and whatever you do, don't touch it. Eastern Mayhem defense, it's going to be right here. Just leave it alone, don't touch it. You can just do away with it here. And as long as it's there, it's fine. Just do not even go into this screen at all. There's my Eastern Mayhem daily. So I appreciate it, guys. I'll get this video uploaded for y'all, and everybody have good luck with Mayhem. Guys, try to keep the private messages to a minimum between now and April 19th. I'd really appreciate it. Obviously, if you need something, or if you're wanting to buy something, or if you're needing a withdrawal or something, do send me a message in game, but just know that I might not read it right then and there. It might be 8 hours before I get to read it. So if you want to help support us, head over to earnped.com, because when you earn, we earn. That's by far the best way you can support us. Also, hit that bell icon. Hit that like button, because there's always somebody out there hitting that dislike button. There's always a hater. Sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. See y'all April 20th. Take care, guys.